We're going to now look at the two basic rules of probability. First, there's the multiplication rule. So the multiplication rule says if A and B are two events defined on a sample space, then the probability of A and B equals the probability of B times the probability of A given B. There's another way to write it as well. And if A and B are independent, then the probability of A given B equals the probability of A, then the probability of A and B equals the probability of A given B times the probability of B, which is the probability of A times the probability of B. These are much easier when you look at these in examples than just reading them straight from the text or from the slide. Then we also have the addition rule, and we're going to look at a couple examples after this. So the addition rule is if A and B are defined in a sample space, then the probability of A or B equals the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B. So you can see there's a couple different ways to represent this. Also, if A and B are mutually exclusive, then we know that the probability of A or B equals 0. Again, it'll make more sense once we start applying these into scenarios. So let's look at an example. Juan is trying to choose to go on a vacation. He has two choices, A, New Zealand, or B, Alaska. Juan can only afford one vacation. That's important. So the probability that he chooses A is 0.6. The probability that he chooses B is 0.35. We note that the probability of A and B is 0 because Juan can only afford to take one vacation. The probability of A or B, this is where we plug in our equation. The probability of A plus the probability of B, 0.6 plus 0.35 minus 0 equals 0.95. So the probability that he does not choose to go anywhere on vacation must be 0.05. Here's another example. A student goes to the library. Let events B equals the student checks out a book. D is the student checks out a DVD. The probability of checking out a book is 0.4 and checking out a DVD is 0.3. And the probability of D given B is 0.5. This is what we need to find. We need to find the probability of B and D. And so we're going to use our equation here, and it's 0.4 times 0.5, and that's 0.20 is the probability that the student would check out a book and a DVD. And then if we look at the probability of B or D, we're going to plug that information into the equation, and we get 0.5. So the probability that a student will check out a book or a DVD is 0.5 or 50%.